Y'all know I wrote a book, right? It's called Buy a Game and it's free. Click the link down there, you got it.
DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. Another Eastern Conference semifinal series is set. I'm recording this Saturday afternoon. Series is starting today. Washington Wizards against the Boston Celtics. This is going to be a really good series. I think maybe if we're looking at the West, we got the Warriors against either the Clips or the Jazz. Then we got the Spurs Rockets. That's going to be good. Those are going to be the two good series. I think the Warriors are going to beat whoever comes out of that 4 or 5 series, which we'll know maybe by the time you watch this if it's later in the day. And then I know the Cavs are going to beat the Raptors barring an injury. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take. But this series right here is one that's going to be, I think there are going to be a lot of differing opinions on this. I'm going to tell you my opinion on this series. First, let's talk about the challengers, I guess we'll say, since they're the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, the Washington Wizards. First of all, John Wall has really stepped his game up. I've always been a fan of John Wall. I wasn't really that much of a fan of Brad Beal, but he had been getting injured so often. I know Wizards fans had mentioned that to me at the beginning of the year. That Beal often gets injured. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, but he stayed healthy all year, proved himself a solid, if not yet a star, but a very solid 2-guard in the NBA as a whole. John Wall's a damn star. John Wall's an all-star. He's really stepped his game up. Him and Beal together are a great combination, and they've gotten some help from some people around them finally this year to make them a very formidable team. First guy I want to mention, Otto Porter Jr. He was a number 3 pick in the draft, and he was not doing much, not much of a factor, but he's become a factor now. He can knock down outside shots. He is a solid rebounder, really strong rebounder from the forward position. Then you got the Morris twins, shout out to Philly, Markieff Morris, who can score some points, grab some rebounds, tough, hard-nosed guy who really got all under Paul Millsap's skin and was really stopping Paul Millsap the first 2 games of that series. Millsap stepped his game up. The last 4 games, Millsap played much better, but Markieff Morris really got up into him those first 2 games, which helped the Wizards take that lead. Marcin Gortat is a great pick-and-roll guy. He can't jump. He's not that great of a rebounder. He's not a great rim defender at all. The Wizards can't defend the rim pretty much at all. They can't defend the rim in any way, shape, or form, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But Gortat is a great pick-and-roll guy with Wall. He fits perfectly on that team. He does perfectly with the group that he's on. And looking at the Wizards bench, Kelly Oubre Jr., good energy guy. Bojan Bogdanovic can knock down outside shots, so it's a great pickup by the Wizards to get him at the trade deadline. Brandon Jennings, I don't think he has much gas left in his tank, but if you only ask him to play a few minutes in spurts and bring some energy, Brandon Jennings can definitely do that, and that's pretty much and then you got Jason Smith. So that's pretty much the rotation for the Washington Wizards. Now let's take a look on the other side, the Boston Celtics. The number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. They were down 2-0 to the Chicago Bulls, and if Rajon Rondo did not break his hand, the Bulls would have beat the Boston Celtics in the first round. But Rajon Rondo did break his hand, so the Bulls didn't beat the Celtics, and the Celtics are moving on to the next round. Now, I just mentioned that the Wizards are not good at protecting the rim, but the thing is, Boston is not that strong at protecting the rim either. So both of these teams, I think you're going to see a lot of finishes at the basket, a lot of players aggressively attacking the hoop, and I'm going to tell you exactly how that's going to shake out. But first, let's look at the Celtics roster. First of all, we got the All-Star Isaiah Thomas. This guy was huge in the 4th quarter this year, made himself into a bona fide star the way he was just taking over 4th quarters for his team and putting the team on his back, scoring whenever the hell he feel like it. Inside, outside, getting to the rim, finishing over bigger guys. Isaiah Thomas has become a star. Avery Bradley is a hell of a defender at the guard spot. No guard wants to be guarded by Avery Bradley. That dude has long arms. He has great hands. He has great timing. He's athletic. He's strong. He knows his stuff. You don't want Avery Bradley guarding you. It's going to be a long night, even if you're a great player. Jay Crowder, wing guy who him and Damari Carroll, I kind of see them as similar guys. He's a hard-nosed wing guy who's kind of strong, not really going to do that much to be a factor in the game, but they're a solid player you want to have on the team. But you're not building around a guy, but he's a solid player on the Celtics. He works perfectly with what they have and what they need. Gerald Green is a guy who, I don't know if he was even in the rotation, even playing at the beginning of the year, but then in this Bulls series, all of a sudden he became like a factor. He became a guy they needed to have on the court, and he actually did very well the last 4 games of that Bulls series. Gerald Green became a pivotal guy for the Celtics, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. Al Horford, max contract big guy. Al Horford's not a rim defending guy. He's not a guy who's going to go score 30, 25, 30 points every night. That's not really his game. He's a guy who does a whole lot of the little things, a lot of things that may not show up in the box score. He's going to get you between 15 and 20 points usually. He's going to get you 7, 8 rebounds. He can get you 5 to 8 assists. every night, but he's a solid team guy. He's always in the right spot, always make the right rotation, always makes the right reads and the right passes, even if it's not a pass directly to an assist, it's the pass that leads to the pass. So Al Horford's a great team guy. Any team you put Al Horford on, that team's going to be better with Al Horford than without Al Horford. I think we all can agree with that, even though he has some limitations. He's not an explosive guy that jumps off the screen at you, and he's not a guy whose stats are going to jump off the page at you, but he is a really solid team guy. Celtics also got Marcus Smart. So they got these three guards, Isaiah, Avery, and Marcus Smart. Smart is a really strong, defensive-minded, tough-nosed guy who makes a play or two every single game. He makes a play or two. He isn't a great outside shooter, which I think is to his detriment, that he is not consistent in knocking down that shot to spread the floor for Boston. Terry Rozier, I don't know too much about Rozier. I know he's an athletic guy who gets his minutes. When he gets his minutes, he can be solid. He hasn't always been solid, but he can be solid. Jaylen Brown, I don't know how much we're going to see of him. He's a rookie playing in this series. I'm not sure he's going to play too much. Then you got Kelly Olynyk, Jonas Jerebko. That's pretty much it. That's looking at the Celtics roster. Now, not having to look at the rosters anymore, let's talk about the matchup between the Wizards and the Celtics. First of all, the Wizards took it to the Celtics a little bit this year. Once they got into their little heated battles, that last game that was in Boston, the Wizards showed up in all black because it was going to be a funeral. They were going to kill the Celtics, and they did kill. They beat the Celtics. And I think overall, my rule is I like to see who the best player is in the series between both teams, and the best player in this series is Jonathan Wall. John Wall is the best player. He's better than everybody on Boston, better than everybody on the Wizards. He just scored 42, had 8 rebounds in the finishing game against the Atlanta Hawks, which many people thought the Hawks were going to win to send it to a 7th game, but that didn't happen. They went into Atlanta, took care of them, and John Wall is really finally being fully healthy. I think that's another thing. Him and Beal finally being fully healthy, both of them are really showing their games, and I think against Boston they're going to show it a lot. I don't think Boston has guys who can guard both Beal and John Wall. Isaiah Thomas cannot guard either one of those guys, and those guys are going to go off. I think you're going to see 25+ points per game for both John Wall and Bradley Beal in this series. I think Markieff Morris is going to make some good scoring plays for the Wizards. Good scoring games, let's say, for the Wizards. Now, on the other side, Isaiah Thomas is going to get his points. Isaiah Thomas is going to have some big fourth quarters. He may have a big scoring game in general. Al Horford's presence is really going to keep Boston together. I think Gerald Green is going to be in there scrapping, and he's going to make some unexpected plays for the Celtics. And Avery Bradley is going to be a big defensive guy. He's going to at least try to help slow down one of those 2 guards that the Wizards has. But overall, I got to go with the best player in the series, in John Wall. The Washington Wizards are going to win this series. And I say, being that it's in Boston, the Wizards are going to win it in, I'm going to give it 6 games, maybe even 5. I think the Wizards can win this series in 5. With the way that John Wall can attack the rim, I think they can win it in 5 because the Celtics have nobody, absolutely nobody, who can protect the rim when John Wall is attacking that rim. And if whoever has to guard him, he's so fast, nobody can stay in front of the guy. I think the Wizards can win it in 5, but I think it may go 6 if Boston is clicking on all cylinders, which they started doing the last 4 games of the Chicago series. So I'm going to say Wizards in 6. They win it game 6 in Washington to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals. What else do I need to say about this series? I don't think I need to say anything else. That's my prediction. Wizards in 6. Let me know what you think. Leave it down there in the comments. Make sure you say it before the series starts, before the game starts today. Everybody have a great day watching NBA playoffs and a great week. It's going to be a good postseason. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.